Pittsburgh, matey. Welcome to Nana's Kitchen. As you can see today, Nana's Kitchen has become Pirate Nana's Kitchen because the appetizer I'm making today is themed for pirates. We had the greatest party for pirates and I love to theme recipes, and we used Philly for the greatest meatballs. I call them cocktail cannons that you've ever seen, and they are always the first thing to go off the table. That's the cannons, and we're going to fire some spicy cannons at you today. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the cannons. These are the meatballs. I just pulled them out of the oven. These meatballs are made with about 1.5 pounds of ground beef, 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs, an egg, and you whip up 4 ounces of Philly with some milk, a couple tablespoons of milk, and you whip it up and you mix that into there with an egg, and it's in the recipe, and you mix it all together and squeeze it together with your hands and make them into meatballs, put them into a plate, put them into a pan, put them in the oven, 500 degrees, about 10 minutes, stir them a couple times, and you got the meatballs. These are the spicy cannonballs. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make the sauce that goes on the spicy cannonballs. I have in here already a tablespoon of butter. It's starting to get soft, and I'm going to put in here 6 cloves of garlic. That's a lot of garlic, but I like garlic, and these are some spicy garlicky meatballs. That's the way we like them, Lassie. And so you make the beginnings of the sauce with the garlic in the butter, and it's starting to sizzle around a little. This is another tablespoon of olive oil. I like to get the light olive oil and put it in there, and that's going to stir up with the garlic and until the garlic softens and it gets nice and whoo, you can smell the garlic. And there's a little bit of chili peppers in those cannonballs too. It makes them a little bit spicy. So as this starts to simmer a little bit and the garlic starts to soften, the next thing you're going to add is 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. This is the soy sauce. We're going to pour that in there and start to make that whole thing sizzle up. And it's getting nice and hot. As the garlic starts to cook in there, you can really smell it mixed with the soy sauce. These are always a hit, but when you make them spicy, every cannonball needs to fire, and these are firing cannonballs. Then you add in there with the soy sauce about 1/2 cup of honey. This makes it a sweetened sauce, but it's sweet and fiery all at the same time. I always like that kind of combination of the creamy and the spicy and the fiery and the soft, and really makes a good contrast. You're going to add 8 ounces of tomato sauce. This is just plain tomato sauce. As that all starts to cook together, you stir it and keep stirring it so those flavors start to blend. And as those flavors blend all together, ooh, that's looking good. Ta-da! Philly. Now remember, there's 4 ounces of Philly in the meatballs. That keeps them very moist. And then it makes a creamy sauce to go on top. So every good pillager of the village likes to have a creamy sauce, yes, with his hot meatballs. So we add in the Philly to make it creamy. And that garlic and soy sauce and honey mixes with that cream cheese. It starts to get smooth, and you start to get a nice smooth sauce. Now the meatballs are where the spice is, because they've got the chili flakes in them. And you need something a little creamy to go on top of those spicy meatballs. Puts the fire out a little bit just to have it. So that Philly is so important in this sauce because it balances out the spicy meatballs. Now as this starts to melt and blend together, you can see how the creamy sauce is coming along. And you simmer this for probably about 5 minutes is all, just so the sauce all melts together and blends good. So in here we have our honey, our cream cheese, tomato sauce, olive oil, about 1 tablespoon of butter, and 6 cloves of garlic. I am a garlic fan. And it's always fun when you use appetizers or when you have a party or when you do something to make a theme. Just makes it a lot more fun. Then after your sauce starts to cream together, starts to blend nicely like that, it cooks down. Oh, the aroma from this is great. It's just all that garlic and the tomato sauce and the soy sauce and the honey. It's sweet, it's creamy, and it's sweet and creamy. It's going to go right over the top of that fiery. Now, as your sauce is getting simmered, you take your cannonballs. You know what I'm going to say. Add them to that sauce. We're going to put your cannonballs right there into the sauce. Cover them nicely with that sauce. So just fold them in. And the cannonballs are nice and soft, and they're moist because they've got that cream cheese put right inside them. The milk and cream cheese mixture really makes the cannonballs moist. They don't get dried out. And you don't want dried cannonballs, do you, matey? You got to learn to talk like that. You can get online and learn how to talk like a pirate. There's all kinds of fun things. I can talk like a pirate, you know. Well, that sounded like an Irish pirate, didn't it? Anyway, you get the sauce on your meatballs. You cover them all nicely with this sauce. And this creamy sauce is going to mix with that fiery meatballs. And they're a little bit spicy, not too crazy. Not everybody's a spicy fan. And after you get all of them in there, and they're already warm because I just took them out of the oven a little bit ago, so they're all kind of nice and hot already anyway. You're going to get them covered with your sauce. Remember, this is kind of a sweet, creamy sauce, too. You're going to have fun with it. Now, remember to have fun, because that's what a theme party is. Fun. And you make like a little pirate boat, and you put your spicy meatballs out on a big tray. Now this recipe makes about 50 of these, and 50 of them don't go very far when you got a hungry gang coming up the gangplank looking for something to eat, you know. And you get those fiery meatballs in their creamy sauce. You put them all on the tray. You put them out into a big tray, because it isn't going to take long that these are gone. If you put them in an oven-proof kind of plate or bowl, you can put them back in the oven until right before you serve them, so they're nice and hot as well. But you put them all into it, and you can stack them like they stack cannonballs. You want to creatively get so you can stack them. You stack them in rows, and you can stack them tall. You put your toothpicks nearby, and you get them all stacked up in a big tray, and you put toothpicks in them. And you can even sail your boat on top, because it looks like the cannonballs are an ocean. There. That's it. That's the Cannonballs cocktails. These are little cocktail meatballs with cannonballs, spicy cannonballs, sweet, creamy sauce on them. Shiver my timbers. They make you a better pirate, and they make you a better woman of Philadelphia.